Wisconsin at the Alliant Energy Center. I'm Rondez. I'm joined today by Lord Tupperware, my friend Ethan. That's right. We got there.
You said it like there was no problem.
I said where I was going to my driver this morning, and he said something else, and I was like, that's not right. And it just stuck with me the way that he pronounced it. I'm not going to repeat it because then that's all I'm going to hear for the rest of the day.
This is the biggest tease of my life is what are we calling this center? But we're here.
That's right. We're getting into round 2. We've got Dana facing off against, I missed our name here. I believe
Keldan
it's Dana
Campbell.
Keldan, thank you. Keldan is our opponent here alongside Dana. We saw Dana in our first game being taken down by our friend Adam Eade. This is going to be your second appearance on screen, and Keldan's first for us this weekend at CubeCon. He's also going to start us off. Turn 1. We got our turn 1 play, dropping a mountain here into this 1-drop.
Oh, this ain't a 1-drop. This is a 9-drop. Greater Gargadon. Suspend 10. So we can remove a time counter from it every turn. But you can also sacrifice, I believe it's artifact, creature, or land, to remove a time counter from it. And then when the last time counter is removed, it's coming into play. It's got haste. This is one of my favorite cube cards of yore. Balanced Gargadon is a combo for the ages. And Keldan has, looking at his pile, I don't know exactly where he landed. He's got a number of cards that I think are quite powerful in the cube. He just dropped one on turn number 2 there. That's Deep-Root Pilgrimage. So 1 and a blue, whenever a non-token Merfolk you control becomes tapped, or 1 or more non-token Merfolk becomes tapped, you get to make a 1/1 Merfolk token with hexproof. So Keldan's going to have a stream of 1/1s potentially coming out. So it looks like we're on blue-red. He's got some black cards in his pool as well. We'll have to see if he decided he had enough fixing to splash out for them. But Keldan did end up with that Magda that we saw one around the table.
Oh, wow.
He's got one of the things that you get to do with Gargadon just hanging out in exile there is have some steal effects. Well, he's got Claim the Firstborn. He's got Goat Napper. He's got ways to steal Dana's creatures and then sacrifice them to the Gargadon while it's hanging out in exile there. Over on Dana's side, she's going to fire off Once Upon a Time for free. Find an Imperious Perfect. If you didn't see her draft, that was the pick one of choice for our young Nissa cosplayer on the left. Swamp for turn. Goes Dana and deciding what to do. She's going to pass over to Keldan. It's going to drop a Secluded Courtyard. And there's a Goblin Chieftain.
Yeah, tapping 2 for the Goblin Chieftain. Goblin Chieftain is going to be the first creature on the board for Keldan Campbell here.
Turn him sideways. That's going to trigger the Pilgrimage. I hope you got a stack of those Merfolk tokens over there, says Keldan, because they're coming. Chieftain hits in for 2. Dana at 18. I believe Keldan's still at 20. Don't let the 7 in the upper right corner of your screen fool you. Land number 3. We know Dana has at least an Imperious Perfect, but she's going to go with the hollow one. So 3/1 that she can potentially trade off with and at least get a 2/2. Buy her some time. Keldan's going to tick down. 7 counters left on the Gargadon.
So interestingly enough here, making those tokens each turn when Keldan attacks. You can also set up those Merfolk that come in with Summoning Sickness to block and then sack it at instant speed.
Exactly.
She's got defense for quite some time. Headless Rider here on the opposite side, though. Whenever a creature dies, Dana's going to get a bit of an advantage here, creating a zombie token each time.
Looks like we've got a Magma Spray taking out the hollow Headless Rider. Sorry, not Hollow One. Hollow One's an artifact. That's a slap on the wrist number 3.
The colorless artifact
for today.
Yes.
There's a Headless Rider, but the Magma Spray says if it dies this turn, exile it. So no 2/2 zombie for Dana. And Hellspur Brute, I believe, has affinity for some creature type. Doesn't matter. It's going to get affinity for any creature type here. So it just costs 3 mana. And it has haste. And they're all turning sideways. Gonna get a Deep-Root Pilgrimage. Again, this is the kind of stuff I was expecting us to see. I don't know if Keldan suspended the Gargadon on 1. I don't know if we're gonna get to see it pop off.
No, I don't think so. I think you're right. And I'm actually wondering, we talked a bit about this before, with Dana having so many, 3 and 4 drops and so on and so forth in the deck. When something gets removed, you get set back so far. Look at this board state. not only do those merfolk have hexproof, Dana doesn't really have removal for those other creatures anyway. So playing catch-up here is going to be tough when you're only playing 1 or 2 spells a turn, and Keldan is just going wider and wider.
So 2 2/2s in place, right? Because the Imperious Perfect is giving the Elvish Mystic +1/+1. But if this is a creature for Keldan, he just has lethal, because what he can do is play a creature, and what are there, 6 time counters? I guess he can't quite. A common play pattern with Gargadon is the turn you're going to win, you just sack all your lands. And then you're like, here's a 9/7 with haste coming in.
Exactly. Figure it out. Good luck.
Figure it out. So Marrow Regery, another merfolk here. I really like the cards that Keldan assembled here.
Whenever you cast a merfolk spell, you may tap or untap target permanent. What's also important here is that this is another Anthem effect.
Yeah.
+1/+1 to all those Deep-Root Pilgrimage merfolk that we got. That's going to spell the end of the game there.
There it goes.
Swift defeat there, and a swift victory there from the side of Keldan Campbell. The turn 1 play, then the Deep-Root Pilgrimage on turn 2 is huge.
Right. Well, the turn 1 play there was kind of a mulligan. If you think about it, it didn't do anything.
It did not.
It excited me. I was glad to see it, but it didn't really. The Gargadon on 1 wasn't doing much.
It was more like
for
reassurance. Like, you just had blockers if you needed them, but you didn't need to block.
Right. Overgrown Tomb on 1 for Dana. And Keldan says, I got a tap land too. I'll play a Steam Vents. I'll get my mana right. Elvish Mystic.
Okay. Good start.
The Springjack Pasture, that's the goat-making land, otherwise colorless, for Dana. Elvish Mystic, I assume, was the draw for turn, and as soon as that happens, when you're like, you're late. I wanted you on turn 1 so I could play a 3-drop. There's your card.
Conspicuous Snoop coming in.
Conspicuous Snoop. So this is basically, it's Augur of Autumn for 2 mana in these decks, because so you can play goblins. You can't play lands, but you can play goblins. Well, that's any creature. 4 mana goes Dana, and there's the Lysalana Huntmaster.
Relevant line of text on the Conspicuous Snoop as well is that it's going to get, as long as it's a goblin card, which of course all the creatures in the deck will be goblins. Conspicuous Snoop gets all of those activated abilities. So that's hidden information. That we're going to see on the side of Keldan that could come into play here.
Vildaran Thrillseeker just hanging out on top. You can cast that. Do you want the card advantage? 3 mana 1/1, back up 2, and then 1 sack it to deal damage equal to its power to any target. Looks like no. Looks like we're going to Fading Hope the Huntmaster here.
You get the Scry as well. But we know the card, so. Magda coming into play.
Magda.
So we've talked this card up quite a bit. There's a lot going on here. One of the more powerful cards that you'll see in some other singleton formats like Commander, especially competitive EDH. But just the Anthem effect. Your creatures creating you treasure tokens, so ramping you throughout the game, and then it also having that tutor ability to get any artifact or creature in your deck, because it's a dragon card, but any creature in your deck onto the battlefield is huge.
Okay, well, Dana says, I got something better than Lysalana Huntmaster to replay. I've got the Evercoat Ursine. I'm going to hide away 3 twice. And, this is a powerful card, but as we saw, what happened the last time we saw this get cast?
It got Path to Exile before it could get in for
damage. That's not really the kind of mana exchange you want to see.
Not at all.
When you're playing your 6 mana, 6/5 trample, double hideaway spell, and then it gets got by 1 mana. And I'm a little nervous that Keldan might have the opportunity to do something else.
Maybe a blink effect. We are in blue-red, so might be a little bit more challenging here. These big green creatures tend to do pretty well once they hit the battlefield against those colors.
Mm-hmm. Does look like Keldan is a little land light at the moment. See a grip full of possibilities for him.
Yeah, I'm not seeing maybe Lava Coil is one of the... I don't know if he drafted this or not, but...
I can take a look at his list. Lava Coil is definitely an option for removal. He's got to claim the Firstborn in hand. I think that looks like to be what he's thinking about doing, and the only opportunity of a creature for him to grab with that claim is an Elvish Mystic.
Right, not going to get you very far.
Well, but it's a dwarf with Magda.
It is
so
a dwarf.
He's going to gain mana on that exchange, right? If he casts claim on Elvish Mystic, it'll tap for mana, it'll make a treasure. That's going to net him 1 mana.
That's right.
And as he's choked on mana here with only 3 lands in play, and I believe it's turn 5, that might end up being a profitable decision for him. So he is going to play the Malcolm off the top of the library thanks to Conspicuous Snoop.
Mm-hmm. And that's a flyer, which is big against Dana's list.
Oh,
so
for sure.
Some of the more dangerous things that Dana could have under this Earth sign here, the Massacre Worm would be pretty big right now, giving everything -2/-2.
Why?
And you get Hideaway 3 twice, so you're
That's-
digging 6 cards.
That is some voodoo that you're putting into the world there.
Some
So,
truly evil thoughts coming from me. But I'm just thinking of what is the most devastating thing that could come off the top. It could be literally anything else, of course.
I mean, this is fairly devastating as Goblin Chieftain comes in. That's going to allow Malcolm and itself now have haste. Keldan's going to be, if he wants, going to have the opportunity to attack with 4 creatures here and make 4 treasures.
That's right.
Decides, nope, play it safe. We'll just get a Malcolm. Malcolm's going to attack, going to make a treasure. He knows Secluded Courtyard's on top of the library, going to be able to draw into that. Going to pitch what looks like one of the Borderland Behemoth, a card I'm not thrilled about in this cube. It's a giant monster, but dies to Doomblade, right? I think lean and mean low on the curve as we're seeing Keldan just continuing to go wide. Man, it would be so sick, Rondez, if we saw a Massacre Worm coming off of this.
It would be. It would take out everything except for this Borderland Behemoth so far.
Yeah. Well, but that's in the bin, so.
Yeah, that's right, actually. So, counting it up, doing some math here, I suppose.
Yeah, they're just checking that the clock in there from Malcolm was correct. It is getting +1/+0 from Magda. It's getting +1/+1 from the Chieftain, so that's going to be 4 total damage coming in from Malcolm. That's why Dana finds herself at a spooky 13 life at this point. Lisalana Huntmaster. Second verse, same as the first. The Ursine coming in. Oh, show me a Massacre.
Oh, here it is.
Show it. Do it.
Oh, no, she would have played it much faster if that's what was in her hands.
No, I think Dana's got the slow roll in her. That's what I think.
Oh, really?
I think she's yeah.
Showmanship. Love the suspense, you know?
No, I think you're right. I think this would be too long, even for my taste.
That would be a snap play if it was
Yeah.
the Massacre Worm. So, thinking carefully here, how do we get ourselves out? Is that Headless
Okay.
Rider?
That's Headless Rider.
So
Not
Headless Rider
Hollow
comes in.
One.
No. That's Headless Rider that comes in. We're going to get a zombie, or an elf, excuse me, not a zombie. And when some of the other creatures
It's
die,
also
we'll
a
get
zombie.
zombies. It is also a
It's
zombie.
also a
That's
zombie.
true.
No rules, just right here in the Changeling Cube. Misty Rainforest. We knew that was coming. It's off the top. We're going to get a shuffle here.
You do technically have to shuffle regardless.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
must, not a may.
Perhaps a rebuy at playing some creatures off the top thanks to the Conspicuous Snoop.
That could be big. That's right. And it is revealed, so this is typically hidden information that is public for all of us here.
This is a really interesting card we haven't touched on. This is another one that breaks the singleton. There are 2 copies of Spellstutter Sprite. In this cube, it's 1 and a blue, 1/1 Flying Flash, and it effectively, in this cube, it's just going to counter a spell with mana cost X or less, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Right. We got at least 4 in play here.
So most things that Dana can cast are going to get got, and Keldan can really choose to just keep that on top if he wants. He's going to obviously choose to attack with Malcolm, pitch something. You can also see a fun card. There's no combos, but Kiki Jiki the Mirror Breaker is in this cube, and it's in Keldan's deck. He's going to decide that that's not the spell for him this game as it makes its way to the bin, and Malcolm ticks up to 2 counters. Both creatures, I believe, in Keldan's hand are known information to Dana. She's seen both the Voldaren Thrillseeker and the Spellstutter Sprite off of the conspicuous Snoop reveal. As it passes back to Dana.
Going in with the Earthswine again.
Okay.
We should see another hideaway trigger. What's that other card?
It's Augur of Autumn.
Augur of Autumn, okay. Covenant should be activated now. We're playing creatures up the top of the deck.
Oh, I would say so. I would say so. Oh. Spellstarter Sprite's going to say no to the Augur of Autumn. Makes sense. Still do get the 1/1 off the Lisalana Huntmaster, as that is on cast. Dana taps 4 mana. Oh, we haven't seen this in play yet from Dana. This is the Ukalan?
Yes, from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, so the star 4. And she's going to get another copy of that. There's plenty of creatures in Keldan's graveyard. No thanks to Dana. She hasn't been sending many of them to the bin with any removal, but Keldan's been looting thanks to Malcolm.
That 6/6 giant is calling her name, I think. The 4/4 giant with
Yeah, you can just nom that. Whoa, what a turn from Dana. That was Augur of Autumn, which seems to be bait at this point for the Spellstutter Sprite, as the 2 follow-ups have been quite powerful. Where did all this mana come from? Oh, the Augur of Autumn was free. My mistake. That was
from
free
Hideaway.
From Hideaway. So that's where the mana's come from. We've got 4 mana.
So no more
Lucalan,
That's
3
right.
mana for Mirror Retriever, and I believe 1 card left in Dana's hand. It's very close.
Yeah, and this is quite a healthy board state from Dana at this point.
I do believe, though, that Thrill Seeker, and this is also a very cool combo with the Chieftain here, is this Flamekin Harbinger, not the Chieftain, sorry, the Snoop. So single red 1/1, that's going to be able to search up a creature of any type, an elemental, but for our case here, any creature, put that on top, and then Keldan can just cast that thanks to the Snoop. So this effectively is tutor a creature into your hand if you want.
And then drop it in for free.
But I'm not sure that Keldan even needs to do that, because he has the Voldaren Thrill Seeker in hand, and there's nothing with reach. Goat Napper, sure. So that's active treason attached to a 2/2. Steals a goat, but everything's a goat, so gonna steal any creature you want. But I don't think he needs to do it. He could just crack in with the
Voldaren
4/3.
Thrill Seeker.
Well, he just cracks in with his flyer, Malcolm. Gets in for 4 plus the 1 from Spellstarter Sprite, and then Voldaren Thrill Seeker puts some counters on the flyer, and then it can sack and go 6 face. So, not sure it's necessary, but Keldan's going for style points here. He's going to Goat Nap the Mirror Galvanizer.
Dana is tapped out, so we shouldn't see any sort of... there's no removal really in the deck anyway, so...
Yeah,
looks like Keldan's just wrapping this one up at this point. I believe he sees the line.
Also, I just forgot that Keldan's going to make 1,000,000 treasure.
Every time they swing, you get treasures.
Wow.
All right, so we're getting in for 5, as you mentioned. Dana should be scooping here. Yeah, so that's gonna be the end of it there. So Keldan will come out on top 2-0 here. First game blisteringly fast. Second game, we did finally get to see the Earth Sign get 2 hideaway triggers off, and it was quite impactful. However, that Magda, the value from Magda, the tutors in this red-blue deck really, really paid off in a big way. Again, as well, Dana ends up falling victim to a flyer, dealing the finishing blow in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going well for our intrepid hero in Dana Fischer, unfortunately. But it's prequel day, so you get some points that can count towards your ultimate standing as you make your way to getting to top 128. But you would hope for a bit better, as it seemed like even with being stuck on 3 lands, that Magda really helped Keldan get out of any jam he was in.
Absolutely, and with this being a prequel, retcons are always possible. We're going to take a quick break and get into our next game. See you soon.